First question for you. Where did your inspiration for the one come from?
Okay, great question. It came from just an intense desire to write an Easter song. I've always wanted to write one. If I could only ever write, sing, record, put out one song in my entire life, then it would be this one. It's so important to me. It's my testimony of the atonement of Jesus Christ.
All right, second question for you. When did the lyrics for the one start coming to you?
Okay. I would say probably a couple years ago. I just go about my day usually just like singing or humming random things, and one day some descriptive words came to mind, and it probably was around Easter time because I probably had Easter on my mind, and these descriptive words came to me: crown of thorns, nails of iron. And I just wrote it down in my notebook because I'm a pen to paper kind of girl, and there they sat. So that was a couple years ago, and when I am in a writing mood, I will go to my notebook and I just flip through, and I have lots of random lyrics in there. I would scan over them every once in a while when I am working on something different or just going through reading things. But it was sometime in November of 2025 when I really started to feel the push of getting this one done. It felt like the right time to start it.
All right, next question is, how long did it take for you to write?
It.
Let me try that again. How long did it take for you? Okay, here we go.
What's even happening?
Scene? Line? All right, here we go. How long did it take you to write this song?
That's kind of a hard question to answer because you kind of dabble, then you leave and you come back. But I would say once I really started pushing myself into it, I'd say probably a good month, start to finish, with piano arrangement. After I felt the push to get it going, the lyrics actually came very quickly to me in a matter of probably just a couple days. But I wanted to make sure everything was written just right because this song is so important to me. So it took me much longer to figure out a piano arrangement, also because I'm not a great piano player. But I did spend more time on it probably than I have on other songs. So lyrics really quickly, but arrangement longer. I just sit and try to play until something sounds good and feels like it's on time, good timing, but I wanted it to sound just right. And so this song actually will probably be the longest time it takes me to ever write a song.
What inspired the words?
I actually just tried to think of the order of events that transpired that day and tried to think about what it would have looked like, felt like, what I would have felt like if I was there that day, like what I would have seen or heard. I just tried to put myself there.
Okay, somebody else asked, were you nervous recording?
I was so nervous. We prayed in the car like we always do. Every time before we went in, and that helped a little bit. But honestly, my producer, Matt Cropper, shout out, he just has this sense of calmness about him. He was so positive and encouraging. There's just a light about him that helped me immensely. And I could just relax, and it ended up being just so much fun and not nerve-wracking at all. I actually remember telling Chad after we met with Matt for the first time that I didn't want to work with anyone else. We had a couple more producers to meet still, and I already just knew in my heart that it needed to be met. So yes, I was nervous, but it was so weird actually, the nerves in the car all the way there, and then walking in and just immediately feeling at peace.
What was the actual filming like?
Okay. It took me over 2 hours to do my hair and makeup. I was still late. It was freezing cold. It was windy. There were people everywhere at the garden, standing around, staring at me and watching me. We filmed in 2 locations. There were dead birds all over the shoreline at Antelope Island, but Kurt is actually so good. He was so quick to know the angles we wanted with the sun and shadows. I had a lot of ideas written down, but he came up with great stuff on the spot that I wouldn't have thought of. So he was a great asset to our little creative team. It was a very pleasant experience. Chad held the speaker in one hand and the notes that we had written down, what we wanted it to look like in the other hand. And my mom came to both locations so she could make sure that my clothes weren't weird, and my hair was fine, and I didn't have smudges on my makeup, and also to tell me to smile, because I sometimes don't. Sometimes I get resting Beulah face. Filming was actually just really fun.
All right. What do your kids think about your music journey? Are they excited about it?
Okay, Miller keeps asking when he can ask Alexa to play my song, and he says that he's going to listen to it every day. Hayes used to be really excited. I think he still is, but he has definitely heard it way too many times. But he has said that he wishes my music was on the radio. So I think they are excited. I mean, they hear it all day long. Anytime I'm practicing on the piano, you hear this thing through the entire house. So I think they're just more excited that something is coming to a head that they can listen to and tell people about. And I'm also just really grateful that I can do this and as a mom and show them that when you really put your dreams out there, that you can do it and you can make it happen no matter your circumstances or where you are at in life. I think we can always have goals and dreams that we can be working towards no matter how old you are.
Awesome. Okay, next question is, how do you get in contact with producers?
So for me, it was kind of just I know a guy who knows a guy. I actually met with my new friend, Melinda Allred, in her living room, and I played this song for her. She was the first one to hear it outside of my house, and I played it for her. I played it for her because I thought that the one felt like it needed a Melinda Allred flair on it. I kind of told her what I was thinking for this song, and we all felt that it was bigger than just us. So we decided we needed to go with a producer. So we reached out to all the people she knew, and we also have a friend, Jake Tesh in Vocalocity, who also gave us his guy's number. And so I guess to answer the question, you just start calling and hope that producers call you back and have time in their schedule to meet with you.
Okay, how do you actually get to record your music?
So anyone can do it. I'm not a signed artist. I don't have a record label. I'm independent. So as long as you have the budget and the moolah, producers will record your music for you.
Can you go into detail about the process of writing music?
Okay. This could be a very long answer, but I'm gonna try to keep it short. I feel like I could benefit from writing classes. I think that's something that even the top artists in the world could still benefit from: voice lessons and music writing classes. I think it's different for everyone. Sometimes, for me, sometimes I'll be going about my business and I think of a lyric, so I write it down. Or sometimes it's flipped. I'll think of like a cool melody in my head and I'll try to record that on my phone. Or sometimes it happens at the same time, like with the one, for instance. Crown of Thorns, Nails of Iron came to my head with a melody at the same time 2 years ago, which has always just stuck in my head. So every time I was flipping through my little binder and I would run across Crown of Thorns, Nails of Iron, I always sang it how I heard it in my head the very first time, and that has always just stuck with me. Songwriting to me is kind of poetic, and I've heard a lot of songwriters keep notebooks and they just, anytime something comes to them, they write it down, and then later when they go back, they can, sometimes you'll have written something on page 3, but on page 52, it seems like those go good together, and so you can kind of piece songs together. I've written a few songs this way actually, where I've had a lyric and I'm like, I don't know what to do with that, but then I wrote something later on and saw that and thought, oh my goodness, that would sound so good together with this other lyric. I would just write everything down you could think of, like just go to town. I think writing down every small idea, and eventually it will just domino into something.
All right, what made you finally take the leap and go for it?
Okay, I don't know that there's any one singular thing. Chad has probably been my #1 pusher overall. He's known that I've wanted to do this for so long, and I think once he saw, it's really weird to say, talk about you and you're staring at me. I think he just, once he saw this flame lit a little bit, I think he just kind of kicked it into overdrive and was like, okay, let's go. And he was pushing me to find producers and pushing me to talk to Melinda and pushing me to talk to another friend, Ryan Newbold of ours, and just, I think he saw just the little spark in me that was excited about it. But then of course I have imposter syndrome big time, so I'm not pushing myself, so he kind of just pulled me after playing my song for Melinda and her hearing it and telling me she loved it. I think it was just a few people who are near and dear to my heart that told me they loved what I was doing, really pushed me into that next realm of, oh my gosh, I can do this and I want to. On the other side of that is I wanted to record an Easter song, and in a few months from November, when I really started pushing myself, I had known Easter's coming up, let's work on that. But also 2026 was my 40th birthday, and for some reason that number felt so monumental for me, and I felt like that also pushed me into gear of like, I don't know, it kind of felt like now or never. Just go all in. You're turning 40, who cares? Do what you want to do.
How long did it take to create the video?
I first had to think about what I wanted it to look like, which honestly was fairly easy because the lyrics tell the story for this specific song. Once I had that idea, Chad and I brainstormed all the places in our area, or not too far, that could work. So then we went on a drive and visited a few places, walked around and kind of scouted out what we thought would match up well with the lyrics. That took a few days. I always knew I wanted to do part of it at Antelope Island because because I'm drawn to the water, and I actually think water is very symbolic. It was also gonna be recorded in the end of February, early March, so everything was dead. So to find somewhere that resembled Gethsemane would be kind of tricky since everything was dormant or dead. But Ogden Botanical Gardens ended up being pretty good, and I fell in love with these stone steps that they had at the garden. I had almost an exact idea in my head of how I wanted the video to play out, which was probably a nightmare for my videographer, but this song is so important to me, and I wanted to transport people and take them to this place in time of Jesus's crucifixion and resurrection. So I actually wrote down line for line where I wanted to sing each part and how I wanted to sing it while we were on location, while me and Chad were scouting out places. I wrote down the lyrics, and then next to each line wrote exactly where I wanted to be positioned on set and for which lyrics I was singing, and I did that ahead of time. So on location, I think it was about 2 to 3 hours at each place, and we did that in 2 days between wind and rainstorms and super cold weather, but I'm sure it took many more hours than that to cut and edit the film down. Shout out to Kurt Cunning of Cunning Media Lab. He's an old-time friend. He does not do music videos. His niche is content creation videos and ads for businesses. But I'm just so grateful that he did this for us.
Okay, how did you get into the right headspace for your video and performance?
Getting into the right headspace for me is always mental gymnastics, because, like I said before, I have big time imposter syndrome, insecurities, and a lot of intrusive thoughts come with that, which we all know those negative thoughts come from Satan. I always pray before I perform anywhere I sing, and I think that always helps. But for this video specifically, I really had to get out of my head. There were so many people at the garden that day when we pulled up. Like every stall, it felt like, was full of cars, which maybe it wasn't, but my imposter syndrome made it look that way. And we would have to stop recording for people to walk their dogs by or whatever, or people would just stand and stare at you while we were recording and I was singing. I just really had to get over that really fast. I just remember thinking and telling myself, it's now or never. We scheduled the time, the song needs to be released, I don't have more time to come back on a different day. Buck up, pull up your britches, and just get it done. This song is important to me, so I needed to just ignore everything and just pour in and give it all I've got. And surprisingly, it didn't take me all that long to suck it up. Of course, the island was much easier because there was no one there. And it was so peaceful, and you could hear the birds, and it was just so quiet and calm, so that was much easier. But recap the answer to the question: prayer, number 1. Number 2, just 2 voices in my head battling and telling the one that's right to shut the other one up.
All right, last question here is, what made you decide to write and sing Christian music?
Okay. Chad, you can chime in on this one too, because I think your memory is better than mine, but oh man, this could be a long answer. Ever since I was little, I've always sang. I was that little girl in the living room telling everybody that I was going to be a singer when I grew up, and I said that through elementary school, and I said that through junior high, and even in high school. It's just kind of always been part of my path, like a hobby path, I guess.
But this was not a hobby or a path that I knew about when I was dating Meg. And then fast forward, we get married, and then like a year later, she goes, out of the blue, I had zero idea she could sing. Like, not a clue. I don't remember any of this. Or anyway. And then one day out of the blue, she goes, Chad, I think I want to take vocal lessons. I think I want a vocal coach. And I was like, okay, cool.
I remember that actually. You were so shell shocked, like, you sing? Because up until then, it hadn't really been like something that I publicly was doing.
No.
Right?
Not
I
at
guess
all.
is like the best way to put it. So you had no idea. But then what did you think?
Then I heard you sing. I don't remember what you sang or whatever. I was like, sing me something now. I don't know, but I just remember after knowing that you could sing, I'm like, okay, yeah. Okay, this is cool. Yeah, you should totally take vocal lessons because you're good.
I mean, I always took vocal lessons as an adolescent too. My parents would put me in vocal lessons. I was always in choirs, all the things. I've been in a few different bands, singing country music, singing rock music. I've been in a cover band, which was probably my more recent one, singing everything. But out of everything I've done, every place I've performed, the stages I've been on, my most favorite place has always been church. From young to 40, my most favorite place has always been to sing at church. And it's not because of location, it's because of the Spirit. Call me an adrenaline junkie, but the adrenaline that I get singing at church far exceeds all of the adrenaline I felt singing at places where there were hundreds of people. Church, to me, exceeded all of that. I think deep down, I've always known that my music path needed to be Jesus music, from what a lot of people call it.
I remember you telling me that before you were in those cover bands and like those little group of friends, music groups that you did like before that, like while you were taking your vocal lessons. I remember you telling me one day like that you want to write and sing Christian music, and it's all of a sudden just like over this past year just started flowing through you. And I've had a front row seat right here where I'm sitting watching you play that piano to enjoy it all.
All of you guys know word for word my songs. I just love Jesus so much. And the older I've gotten, the more I have realized that I just, in my home, in public, and everywhere I go, and all of the things that I do, I just want to glorify Him. And if I have this music ability and talent, that's from Him. What better way to honor Jesus Christ than by using the things that He's given you and to use them to help others, to bring people closer to Him. So I'm gonna try to do just that. As long as I can. Alright, well I guess that's it then. Were you recording that?
Yes.
You rolled that stone away.
I'll put in my mommy pooch.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
I do not touch the board.
Don't touch the thorns, Miller. Crown of thorns. Okay. Oh my my butt.
Oh,
gosh.
shoot, you just got thorned. Things you gotta do.
Miller.
Hey, buddy. Oh, gosh.
Put on my rain boots.
You gotta walk soft,
Sand.
light steps.
Walk on the outside like this. It's not as deep.
Oh, yeah.
I got that move from Miller.
He rolled the stone away.
Breath of life. I'm just taking a nap. He's like, get out of here.
Hey.
There's lots of rabbit poop up here. Sorry, rabbits. Did it look like I was farting?
Crazy.
Malakiliki maka. Crown of Did I have RBF?
Oh, yeah, where's your... Oh, sweet.
Ah, that's not the word. I'm gonna have a lot of dead bird on my feet.
Darkness can home. Who cares for me that much? He doesn't ask for much, just that I give my life to him. So I give my life to him, my
That's why I have tissues in here.
Really funny.